G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on the brand new expansion for Age of Empires 4. This is the Sultan's Ascend. Spawning in on the south side of the map in the colour teal, playing as Juicy's Legacy, it's Crackety here. And in the north side of the map, in the colour pink, playing as the Ayyubids, we've got Ghosty Meow, aka Corvinus 1, aka Salami, aka the Wallalol God. There's a lot of names he's been known by. Take your pick. My personal favorite, Salami. I like Salami. Easy to remember. It's always been a fan of mine, or I've always been a fan of it. It's probably the better way to say it. But we've got ourselves a fun game for us today. I'm looking forward to it because we get to see two variant civilizations. We get to see Juicy's Legacy. Now, I'll be honest, not a fan of the name. I kind of like the Jade Empire to begin with. I know that some people didn't. It was simple. I liked it. Now we got Juicy's Legacy. I'll be honest, I think that their color shouldn't be teal. I feel like it should be orange. Just because Juicy, you know, you think of Juicy and you're like, orange, yummy, juicy, a juicy orange. Anyway, the name could be better, but the civilization, rumor is this is the best civilization there is in the game right now. That's the rumor. Let's see if we can put it to the test here, because Crackety here is on it, and it is going to be an absolute banger today, because with Corvinus in the north on the Ayyubids, this is, of course, the Abbasid dynasty's brand new variant civilization. So two variants going up against each other at this early stage in the game. I'm looking forward to it because we don't know what to expect here. And that's something that I want to just start and caveat this game with. I don't know what to expect. You don't know what to expect. We're just going to watch. We're just going to see what happens, because these two guys are some of the best players in the world. Very creative players, both of them. And I'm confident that we're going to be in for a thriller of a game. So let's get into it, because on the south side, we'll talk about the Juicy Legacy, try and understand a bit about what makes them special. Number one is that they start off in the Tang Dynasty, as you can see here, the same Tang Dynasty that the Chinese have got access to. However, the bonuses are different. The bonuses here in this Tang Dynasty are that instead of your scout having more line of sight, it's got line of sight like everybody else. It's very shallow. However, your landmarks are cheaper. Take a look here and you can see the Meditation Gardens as well as the Jiangnan Tower are cheaper by quite a bit, 15%, and it starts to add up. And you can see that first landmark coming down now. 2 minutes 40-ish should be the timer. We'll take a look and see which landmark he opts for. Normally, you're going to be opting for those Meditation Gardens. You can see he's quite slow here, yet to really adjust to the new new costs for the landmarks. So he's going to opt with the Meditation Gardens. So the Meditation Gardens are probably the best Age 1 landmark that you could have for Juicy's Legacy. I think it's better than the other landmark that they've got access to, the Jiangnan Tower. And that's mainly because it gives you really nice passive income from the very beginning. So here we can see that the Meditation Gardens generates resources depending on the type of resources that are nearby. The more resources are nearby, the more resources are generated. However, enemy units can disturb the peace and reduce the resources that are generated. Now, it works out to be 1 unit equals 10%. So if you bring your scout in here and just hide it behind, you're only lowering that from, 100% down to 90%. It's not a big deal. But let's take a look at the resources he's got within this influence. It looks like he's hit the gold, he's hit the berries, and he's hit all of this wood line. This is going to be an absolute banger. Probably will work out to about the equivalent of 3 villages here. So we'll keep an eye on that, because his next landmark is just about ready to go down. And you can see on the other side of the map, we've got somebody who hasn't even clicked up. Has he even clicked up yet to the next stage? Never mind, he has. I just can't see it in the queue. It's not showing up for whatever reason. There we go. It's the economic wing. It's the industry economic wing. And the second town center. Look at the timing on this second TC. 4 minutes and 10 seconds. I'm sure you guys are wondering, how the hell did he get this town center down so damn quickly? Now, when it comes to the House of Wisdom for the Ayyubids, it's a little bit different than your standard Abbasid town center. So one of the most important things to understand with this is that your bonuses scale. So as an example, Salami here has opted for a bonus that gave him 300 wood in the feudal age. If he could have saved that for castle age or imperial age, and when he gets there, that bonus is going to be larger. And that same rule applies with every single one of these bonuses or every single one of these wings that you can choose. Now, it's still the same 4 wings, but you get to choose from 1 of 2 bonuses for each of those respective wings. In this case, once you've used that first bonus from the eco wing, you can no longer age up again with the eco wing, so you lose both of it. Now, I'm not going to run through every single one of them with you guys here, but I will tell you the one that he did choose gave him 300 wood upon aging up. That's it. Just straight off the bat, 300 wood into your bank account, direct deposit. It's the good stuff. It's the stuff you can only dream about when you've been the CEO of a company that's IPO'd and it's just gone perfectly for you. You just sold everything on day one. It's a dream. Anyway, we move on. We move forward because the Jiangnan Tower is now down. This is a unique landmark that acts as a tax drop-off for Imperial officials. It's important to note it doesn't double the bonus tax that you get or the tax that you get from any buildings around it, like the Imperial Academy does. However, it does have a pretty cool bonus, which is that you receive a free unit whenever a barracks, an archery range, or a stable is completed, and a free villager whenever a town center is completed. So you just get your basic units for each of those buildings. So for a spear, or for a barracks, you get a spearman. For an archery range, you get a jukunu, and for a stable, you get that horseman. So just very basic units, but we do see at the 6-minute mark, it's going to be a town center coming down. So quite a bit cheaper, well not a bit cheaper, but a bit faster than the standard Chinese Song Dynasty 2TCs. We do see that it's going to be 2TC Song Dynasty, about 6 minutes on the dot. A good little timing here for Crackety. So both of these players looking to go into 2TCs here. Now, we've talked about it before, the fact that town centers have been nerfed. One of the ways that they have been nerfed is the reduced amount of villages that you can fit inside them. It used to be 10. Now it's down to 7. It's been nerfed in other ways as well. So one of the other ways that it's been nerfed is its range. It used to have 8 range on the town center. Now it's got 6 range. That's a big difference. That means longbows are now on the menu. On top of that, they've also reduced the amount of damage that the extra arrows from the town center do. If I remember correctly, it was 8 damage before. Now it's down to 6 damage. So they've done it. They've hit it with a triple nerf, the TC. And I'm curious to see how this plays out in the long term for the meta. At the moment, both of these players seem to be sticking with what is quite standard for the variant civilizations in their corresponding main civ metas that we experience. You know, the 2TC Abbasid is quite standard. 2TC Song Dynasty for the Chinese is quite standard as well. So we haven't really varied too far out from what we're used to. So we'll keep that in mind as we do move forward. But now on the south side, it looks like Crackety has begun to wall up here. Beautiful big teal walls coming across the face of the base. Scout looks like it might be able to get behind enemy lines. Now, one thing to note is that with Crackety going into Song Dynasty, he's going to lose access to his previous bonus where he was paying less resources for each of his age ups. So before, his age ups were 15% cheaper. So now if we click on one of his villages and have a look how much it costs to age up, you can see it costs the full price. He's paying the full price. However, something else has changed. Instead of him now paying full price for his farms, he pays a discounted... Actually, I take it back. Farms are a full... Hold on. I know why. There we go. Crackety now pays a reduced price for his farms, for his houses, for his mills, for his town centers. For every eco building, it reduces the wood cost significantly. If I remember correctly, it's 40%. I want to say 40%. I'm pretty sure that it's 40%. Which is massive, right? Because there are huge ramifications for that. It means that your farm transition is 40% cheaper, which means that it happens faster because you're paying less for your farms. Because it's happening faster, it means that you can transition into the mid-game faster. So it means you have more tempo, and more tempo means more map control. More map control means more resource. There's such a significant fallout from having a bonus like that reduces the cost of farms for you. And it's difficult for the devs to balance, so I'm curious to see how they go about doing it. But that's the primary bonus that you're going to be looking at here with the Juicy, and just the fact that you can get those farms down extra cheap and extra fast. But now, we begin to see one of the other bonuses of Juicy's legacy as the early Palace Guards make their way across the map. 1.38 movement speed. These guys are quick. They've got their full movement speed. If I remember correctly, they did originally start off with less movement speed, but it looks like the devs have fixed that up, and I think that's an important thing to do, considering this is part of the identity of the unit, right? Like, it is a fast boy. Palace Guard is out, though. And now, Juicy's legacy is looking extra juicy. I tell you what, with these early Palace Guards like this, Oh man, this is going to be painful, isn't it? It is just, it's one of those things where I don't even have to go Castle Age anymore to kill you. I can just stay Feudal Age and just kill you. You know, 2TC Song Dynasty, go into my Palace Guards, have myself an absolutely fine time. As long as he picks up those upgrades, that's going to be important. I want to see him pick up the ranged armor upgrade. That's going to be key here, but have a look at this on the other side of the map. It looks like the Age-Up's about to come through. He's going to go with the trade wing. Oh, I wish I could have had time to have shown you guys exactly what that one did. Maybe go back and pause it and have a look. And what's he going to go for? It looks like he's got villages. So this right here is the best way to explain it. It is the casino. What Salami has just done? He has just done the casino. So he's aged up with essentially a random. It's oh gosh, I tell you what, it is. It's a ludicrous landmark or a ludicrous age up. I can't believe that we've missed 2 of them in a row right here. I do apologize to all the Ayyubid interested players, which is pretty much everybody, right? It's a new civ. We want to know exactly what they do. Palace Guards shredding apart this Ghulam at the front. I say shredding apart, not really. Now they've turned the tables. How much damage are these guys doing? Only 9 melee damage. Not a huge amount of damage compared to the Ghulam, which I guess is doing 10, but it's got all that extra armor. Other side of the map, it looks like the Shaolin Monastery is coming up. I think the one reason why I keep missing those age-ups is because they're not displaying on the UI. Normally, I think they display on the UI that the age-up's coming through. I'm going to have to report that to the devs because that is a little bit awkward. I can't be missing those age-ups. That is frustrating. But Shaolin Monastery is coming up. This allows you to access the brand new, the unique Shaolin Monk, which is a religious unit that doesn't cost gold. Instead, it only costs food. And it's kind of wild because this unit is also an absolute tank on the battlefield. It's particularly good against ranged units because it has a buff, a self buff, where it reduces the incoming range damage by half. That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick when you think about it. Anyway, let's talk about the casino and specifically why it's so strong. So, this is the House of Wisdom. You've got access to a number of different wings, the same 4 wings that you have for the Abbasid. The main difference is that you've got one of those 2 technologies. For the House of Wisdom, under the trade wing, you've got 2 technologies, and one of them is the casino. And the way that the casino works is this. Upon aging up, you get tickets, and these tickets are indicated here by the neutral traders that sit outside of the House of Wisdom. And each time you use one of these tickets, this little guy he'll get deleted. And what happens is you've got 7 options. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 resource related options, 2 economic units, and 2 military units. And what happens is you get a charge on each of these, depending on what luck you have. As an example, I played a game against somebody who went for a fast castle as the Ayyubids, and instead of receiving, so you can see here that we know that Salami has got access to buy food and to buy stone. These aren't considered particularly strong. What's considered strong are your villages, where you can hire villages, so 325 gold for 4 villages. Traders, the same, 325 gold for 4 traders. Bedouin swordsman, where you can see right now, so he's just come through. He's just got the new lot have come through. The new gamble has come in, and now he can access 2 sets of traders and 1 set of Bedouin swordsmen. Then, of course, you've also got the Bedouin skirmisher, which is like an archer. I played against someone, and on their very first roll when they age up, they did a fast castle at like 7 minutes, and he got 2 sets of Bedouin swordsmen and 2 sets of skirmishers, which is the best you can get. It was wild. 20 units in my base at like 7 minutes, all for free from this landmark. But I think I saw, indeed I did. It's the Tower of the Sultan now going to be coming down here. Looks like the infantry are going to be building this one up. Couple units starting to push out in the middle of the base. Keep in mind the Castle Age has come through now for Krakeny. He's going to be picking up those veterancy upgrades. We see the Jukunu yet to pick them up, but he does have crossbows out. Veteran spear here as well. Be looking to play an infantry composition up against the Ayyubids. Keep in mind they do have access to the Camel Lancer. This is a Lancer unit. Oh, baby, how good does that sound? Oh, I'm not even going to try and repeat it. There's no way I can do it justice. But speaking of doing justice right now, looks like Krakeny might be receiving a little bit of justice because he has upset his opponent. Salami just ripping him to pieces. Huge cavalry composition here. The range cav at the back. Keep in mind, these are the Desert Raiders that can switch over to melee if they so please. But I think one of the strongest things about this civilization, for the Ayyubids in particular, is the fact that their lances double as camels, and camels have that unease that they provide to enemy cavalry. So it just means whenever you're making lances, your enemy basically can't make them because you're always going to be ahead of them. That's the hard part. So we're starting to see relics getting picked up. At this point, it's one apiece. They added in that sound. I never heard that sound before, and I just clicked on it, and I surprised myself a little bit. I was wondering exactly. Oh, I can't stop it now. It's almost as good as the town bell. Not quite as good, but still, it's pretty good. So anyway, that's the House of Wisdom. That's the casino. You basically hope that you get some good rolls down here. Ideally, you want villagers and some combination of military units to start off with, and then you want to transition into military units and traders. Traders are really good. I watched a game where Wham, he went Castle Age and he got 4 traders. There you go. There you go, right there. And it's not 4 traders, it's 4 tickets of traders. So it's 16 traders in just instantly like that. And well, it was good for him. Looks like we've got a market attempt coming down here for Salami on that east corner of the map. The build-up is now starting to happen. Plenty of units out the front of Crackety here's base. He's going to be looking to defend as the transition for farms comes in for him on the backside. Numbers looking pretty good back here. He's got that triple granary coming down. Keep in mind, as the Juicy Legacy, he does have access to the granary, the village, and the pagoda. The same unique buildings that the Chinese has access to in each of those respective dynasties. And now the Tower of the Sultan begins to push up. The Wololo goes off. Won't be finding success here. He's going to try and hit the Tower of the Sultan, but of course it's siege, so it doesn't really matter. And now that Shaolin monk has to be careful not to throw away that relic. Tower of the Sultan continues to march its way forward, looking for victims, but just kind of stalls out for the moment. Palace Guards defending on that hill, and a single dervish on the back going to be providing that AoE healing coming through. At least, actually, no, I take it back. It doesn't have the AoE healing just yet. He's just chilling out, doing his thing for the moment. Now, keep in mind, the Tower of the Sultan does actually attack units. If you look closely, you can see the Tower of the Sultan just utterly destroying the Zhuku here. They're trying to push forward, but the Tower of the Sultan, I tell you what, he's got something else to say about this. More and more cavalry units going to continue coming in, and now that Tower of the Sultan going to make its way towards the enemy houses. Spearmen making their way forward. Another Shaolin monk out here. These guys have got bamboo sticks, and I tell you what, they hurt. They attack so fast. Look at him go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. He's so quick. He attacks really quick. He does a lot of damage. You got to be very careful, but it looks like at this point, Salami is starting to lose his numbers on this front position, but look at the damage that comes out from that Tower of the Sultan. Quick Wall comes in on the backside. Is he going to be able to find it? Looks like he's just reverting into ranged units instead. Palace Guard's going to be able to clean up the rest of those raiders. And now the last remaining unit here for Salami will get walled into the base. It's going to be that Tower of the Sultan with that final wall coming up now. And a good hold by Crackety. Crackety's still... Oh, gosh, that was big. Crackety's still behind by 10 villages, but I would say the longer this game goes, the better it gets for Juicy's Legacy. In my opinion, the best civilization in the game at the moment is Juicy's Legacy, and it's because of their Imperial Age. Their Imperial Age is absurd, and there is one reason why. Grenadier. The Grenadier is a unit that's always been controversial. It was always considered too strong, so they had to make it very difficult to get. It sat behind Ming Dynasty, which means that you need to get not just your first Imperial landmark, your second one as well. And that justified the power of the Grenadier. You could have an expensive or a powerful unit because it was locked behind this expensive way to get it. The problem is now, it's not an expensive way to get it. You can get it for just going to Imperial Age, and that's what sets Juicy's Legacy apart. But now, we've got this push coming through from Crackety. Palace Guards together with the crossbows, doing a decent job. He's got to be careful, though. These Camel Raiders are starting to build up in number, and a lot of production coming out towards the front here. I'm curious to see exactly what are we up to over here for the House of Wisdom influence level. Is there a way that we can check it? We're on level 3. Okay, keep in mind there are 5 levels now for the House of Wisdom influence for the Ayyubids. Slightly more than the Abbasid. In the middle of the map, we've got to keep throwing down, but it looks like Crackety's just going to make his way around the edge of the map. We've now got the Bedouins coming through, the skirmishers, which are archers, and the swordsmen, which are a curious unit. They've got a bonus against melee units with their short swords. But now, over on that west side, counterattack coming in. Keep in mind, at this point, Salami does have villages that he can lose. He is slightly ahead, but ideally, you want to avoid losing them. Trades coming across as well. 73 gold every single one of these trades. He's having a field day here. Keep in mind, he's also got access to even more units that he can look to purchase. This is the power of the casino. You got to remember, this is the power of the casino, how strong this thing is. The Ayyubid casino is just next level when it comes to power. But it can be unforgiving. That's the other thing to note. If you go for a fast castle and you roll a whole bunch of resources instead of units, it's not a good time. It's not a good time. All right, well, at this point, we'll switch it over to income per minute so we can get a bit of an idea on where these guys are at. Crackety miles ahead when it comes to food income, largely because of the farm population he's got down here, especially considering the fact that he's got that reduced cost on the farms. So sits happily in the Song Dynasty still, yet to consider going into Imperial Age, yet to consider going into the Yuan Dynasty. So just very safely, just chilling out now for the moment. Doing a wonderful job here with the economy in the back of the basin. Still sits pretty safely behind the walls. He's yet to move out from them. Battering rams starting to build in the middle of the map. I suspect he may be thinking about heading out towards these gold veins. A single keep has locked down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly even 6, 7, 8 large gold veins. That's a lot of gold. It's a lot of gold. He hasn't looked to get the emplacements on them just yet, so maybe it's not even locking them down. Maybe it might even just be 1 or 2 that it's locking down. Maybe 3 at most that it's locking down. All right, well, the push now starting to come through. The battering ram's going to be looking to take out this keep in the center of the map. Numbers here looking pretty good for Crackety. Have a look at how many units he's got on the battlefield at the moment. 42 palace guards, 28 crossbowmen. Now pushing through. He's picked up all of his +2 upgrades as well. Beginning to charge towards that enemy position. And now Salami going to be looking to try and defend. We enter into the cinematic mode as these pushes come to shove. Palace guards trying to take out that enemy cavalry on the front line. Shouldn't have any issue at all. Enemy crossbows on the back line. Actually one-shotting out these palace guards, but now they've made their way onto it. I think this keep may be falling down, and there's just way too many units here at this point in the game. This might be a good game here because there's no way he can defend the gold from this point. He should still have a secondary gold back there somewhere, but he has 100% lost this position, and these battering rams are going to be heading straight towards his base, looking to knock on that casino door and say, hey, you have not been paying your taxes. You've been laundering some money for some Abbasid king somewhere. Did the Abbasid have kings? They probably didn't. They had sultans, right? Actually, wait, it's our sultans who are ascending. Never mind. They would never launder. No, sorry, Bob. They didn't need to. They had all the money they needed. Speaking of money, though, anybody up for some trade? More traders have arrived. Unfortunately, they're going to get chased to their death very quickly. Palace guards now entering into the back of the base, and Crackety sits on maximum population, 196 out of 200. Compare that to his opponent down on 127, and it's just going to continue falling as the Palace Guards have made their way in, and they are looking for victims. And now we see the Imperial Age coming through for his opponent. Crackety going to be looking to finish this game off. Where's that landmark, though? There it is. It's the Temple of the Sun. I don't know why he's building them in this configuration. It doesn't do anything. This landmark, one of the coolest landmarks in the game. If you're familiar with Age of Empires 3, the Japanese, they've got a landmark called the Golden Pavilion. It's basically the same thing. It's a little bit different. Special abilities that improve speed of infantry, damage of cavalry, range of gunpowder units, and regeneration of all of your units. And with that Imperial Age, Crackety seals his position in this game, more than a 2,000 point lead at this point. And villagers, it looks like the villager count is now going to start to be in favor of Crackety. You can see him struggling to kill the mangonels. They do eventually go down. A Wallalol attempt from the dervish. Might be able to find it. Oh, he didn't even get one. Didn't even get one, and the Palace Guards stay alive. Still chasing those villagers away, and indeed it has swung in favor of Crackety here. But now the Grenadiers are going to start pumping out. There they are. And this is just what makes it so difficult to beat this civilization. Incredibly strong in the late game. And from this position, there was no way that his opponent could come back. So well played to Crackety, fellas. Make sure you check out these two players. I'll leave links in the description to where you can watch them live over on Twitch. And of course, I'll leave a link to where you can buy the Sultan's Ascend expansion pack for Age of Empires 4.